Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you all to our first 5-on-5 referee webinar. This is communication and will be delivered by Jillian Harris. Just a little bit of housekeeping. I'm able to, as host, I can mute and stop videos, which will help with internet. But just for future webinars, if you can come in and mute your mics and stop your video straight away, that would be most appreciated. We'll have the opportunity to ask questions. So if you look at the bottom of your screen, you will see a chat tab. If you can send the questions directly through to me, once Jillian's presentation is over, we can go through those questions together. Just with the actual presentation, we're all over the world, so internet may not be that strong. So with all of the videos that Jilly is presenting, there may be a lag in them. So we'll just have to bear with it. The presentation will be available to all of you via a Dropbox link. This will be sent to you later on this afternoon. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Jillian Harris. Jilly is the officials manager for the Auckland Basketball Service Limited. She was also a referee coach at the 29 Pacific Games in Samoa. And she also did some training with the Samoa Basketball Federation for their Teiwela Cup last year. So without further ado, over to you, Jilly. We look forward to your presentation.
Thanks, Annie. Hi, everybody. Hope you're all safe and well. Thanks, Annie and FIBA, for the opportunity sharing. So let's crack right into it. Communication 5-on-5. So like a necessity in refereeing and really important. So let's just move on to the first slide. Whoop. Okay, so today's agenda, we're going over communication tools. The second one will be making a call, decision making and communication. Third one, controlling the game. And lastly, communication amongst the crew. So we'll go through each one, we'll go into more depth. Communication tools. What are they? When and how do we use these tools? I think the picture explains everything. We blow our whistle, naturally everybody's going to look at us. So we need to communicate why we've blown our whistle or why we've said something. So have a little think about what they are. Okay, so some of the communication tools. Rule knowledge. Obviously, we need to know the rules so that we know when to blow our whistle. And it's always good to brush up on the rules. Even a rule you're not sure about, go back and look it up. I think that was something we said at the Pacific Games and even at Poly Cup, check the rules. Get on the FIBA IREF app, which is fantastic. Okay, you can get the app on both iPhones and Android. Okay, and it's always good to go back to the rules. Interpretations are really good too, so have a look at both of them. Strong, decisive whistle. It's one of our tools. How do we stop the game? Obviously with our whistle. Now we need a P-less whistle. So when blowing the P-less whistle, it's important to have enough force in the short period to enter into the whistle. So short, sharp whistle. It creates a strong, decisive sound. You can imagine when you're in a crowd, you have a crowd around you and it's noisy, we're going to need that whistle. We're going to be able to hear that whistle to stop the game. So which takes us to the next one. Obviously with the whistle comes a voice. And with the voice, the signals. Okay. It's also good to be open and respectful. Okay. You don't have to have a growly voice all the time. Be aware, your body language says a lot too. So there's some of the tools that we're going to be going through. There's some of the things that we'll be working through the videos. This screen will pop up again later on during the presentation. Okay, so this is video, and it just shows the importance of communications at the Pacific Games. It's the last 29 seconds in the bronze medal match, and you can imagine that intense time, catching up. Let's have a look at how these referees and the communication tools they use. See if you can spot them out. So the referee's awareness have to be really aware now. Clear signal, say which way it's going. So the refs had a little chat, making them aware of the time, good signal to know where they're going. Did you spot those communication tools that they used in the game? Awareness was a biggie, obviously. They had to check the clock. They checked each other where they were. So making a call, decision making and communications. We'll go more into whistle signals and verbal in this one. Back to whistle. We touched on it lightly in the last topic. So key points important blowing your whistle. Hold the whistle in your mouth using your teeth. Strong blow. Spit into the whistle just one time and get that short burst. Release the whistle out of the mouth after making the call. Indicate the relevant signal for your decision, and then support your decision verbally. So blue 5, pushing. Signals. Make sure you have the relevant signal that's defined in the FIBA rulebook. Okay, these can be found in the official rulebook in 2018. Good way to practice those signals in front of a mirror. Okay. From the start, from the time you blow your whistle with your hand up straight, whether it's a violation or a foul, check yourself in the mirror, because what you look at, when you see yourself, that's what everyone else sees. That's what the players see, the coaches see, and the score bench. Also be verbal, be very clear, your tone of voice when using your voice. Always support your decision with a voice. Okay, so even if it goes out of bounds, white ball, and indicate with the signal. Be clear, be confident, and be audible. You can also use your voice for preventative, or even just for telling someone to cut it out, hands off, out of the key to avoid 3 seconds. We're using our voice all the time. Okay. not just to the players, to each other and to the coaches and to the score bench too. So just further on that, so the first picture there, Duran, he's got the whistle in his mouth. Okay, getting ready to blow that whistle, he's aware. The second picture indicates he's signalling where the pass is going in. Strong signal, whistle out of the mouth so that he can tell them where they are. The third one, as you can see, he's backing his call up with a signal and verbal. Nice clear signals there, and everyone can see and know that that's number 13 who's fouled. So this video is the last 13 seconds of the half. Shot clock's at 8 seconds. Okay, it's a shot clock violation, which you'll see. And it is clearly indicated by a signal by the referee. Then they know there's 3 seconds left to go. So they still have to be aware and watch the clock and signal to each other. So let's have a look at it. Nice signal, even the player knew what was happening. The other official got it ready to put in. Did you notice the communication tools in that video? Sorry, this seems really weird just talking to a screen. I'm used to people answering back, so we'll get your questions later. So a lot of communication tools used in that one and very clear. Controlling the game, this is to deal with the behavior. Not just behavior, but even the flow of the game, what's happening in the game, it all plays a big part. So this is where we need to be open and respectful, especially when you're communicating with the players and the coaches. When a player or a coach asks you a question, answer them, respectfully. So long as it's to a point where they're not asking all the time. Listen, understand, respect them, and respond accordingly. Just have to give them short, sharp answers. Make all attempt, to resolve the conflict at any time and in a professional manner. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be growling them and all of that. Just answer them, and that's where the rule knowledge and everything comes in as well. Do it quickly and in a professional manner, the game doesn't get delayed. Mistakes are made by coaches, players, administrators, and even ourselves. It's just part of the game. Okay, so that's life. Get on with it. But the disrespectful, inappropriate, and unacceptable behaviour shouldn't be tolerated. Players and coaches will do what we allow them to do. So if you need to put a stop to it, then the process normally is we warn the player or coach that it's inappropriate and it is to stop. As soon as they do it again, then it should be followed through with a technical foul. So some examples of some inappropriate behaviour. Any obvious or blatant verbal or non-verbal disruption of an official's decision. Any action that belittles or demeans an official. Any obvious non-verbal reactions which may incite the crowd. We get a lot of them at every level. And any use of audible foul language. Always warn. Tell them it's inappropriate. Tell them what they've done. Then everyone knows. And as soon as they do it again, back it up with a tech foul. Officials should not allow, and this happens a lot, don't allow any continuous questioning towards the officials or continual commentary on the game, and that could be on the court or from the bench players. Don't allow the coaches to become the centre of attention. Okay. If they ask respectfully, answer them. If they become the centre of attention, let them know, give them a warning. This video shows communication between the referees when something has happened. If you watch, it's an off-ball foul inside the key. Down on Guam's end, so let's have a look at it. The cutters go into the key, the two bigs. Some great communication going on in this clip. Marty's called the foul. Craig's gone straight over to have a chat to Marty. Marty's called a double foul. Guy's watching the players as Marty's calling it. After Marty had signalled the call, he had told the players why Tahiti had the ball. And that was because Tahiti had possession when the double foul occurred. Great example of all those communication tools being used. So just back to those communication tools, did you identify all those communication tools that were used in that clip, the rule knowledge? Even though you can't hear Marty's voice, you can see that he was using his voice to support his signal. Strong whistle, you could tell by the body language of the players, everybody stopped. Okay. Communication amongst the crew. Communication starts from your pre-game. You talk about it. Talking about communication in your pre-game amongst all your other stuff. How are you going to communicate to the players? How are you going to communicate to each other? At every break you come together, have a little chat, do a little bit of housekeeping, what's going on. Also on the court at any level, the eye contact, checking where your partners are, where your co-officials are. Body language plays a big part in here too. So in this video, at the start of the game, like I said, it starts from the pregame and continues throughout the game. Here's a start where you don't start the game until everyone's ready. The worst thing you want to do is throw the ball up and no one's ready. So make sure your co-officials and the score bench are ready to go. Craig's checking with the score bench. Score bench is ready. Indicated. Marty's just checked if guys ready. Did you see those tools in there? Let's go back to that screen. It was a good start. You could see the boys were ready to go. So that was a great video clip of seeing how you can see the crew were ready to go. Communication amongst the crew. Like I said, at every break, try and get together and do some housekeeping, have a chat about what's going on, where you want to be, where we need to be, what we need to be looking at. So when communicating with your partner, it's important to keep it simple, relevant, and what you need to decide and achieve. Don't be afraid to communicate to your partners. Don't be afraid to participate. Okay, you're a team. Try and make it quick and to the point. Ask those questions. Why have you come together, and get each person to say what they saw. Everybody's got a different angle. Everybody has a different opinion on what they saw. From this, gather the information needed to make a decision. Rely on what you've seen or heard, not what you think happened. Make sure you see it, see the whole thing, and then you communicate what you've seen and heard. Consider the following tips when you're making these decisions, or when you're coming together to have a chat about to resolve something. Stop, have a breath. Come together, decide on the problem that needs to be resolved. Each say what they saw and heard, make a decision and communicate the decision so everybody knows. So that's the players, the coaches, and the school bench. And that's for anything, especially coming up to when there's the end of the game and you've got 5 seconds on the shot clock and it's close. Anytime. So this video clip is a shot clock. The team, there was no change of possession. So watch how it's communicated by the official. Great. Let's just, oops. Sorry, let's just start that again. So you've seen the whole video. You can see the shot clock, there was no full possession. And we're just going to go through this again. That's when Marty sees it. He goes and checks with his co-officials. Short, to the point. Goes and communicates it to the score bench. Lets the coaches know and the players and his co-officials. I think the only one in this clip who didn't realize it was 2 seconds ago was the commentator that was commentating the Pacific Games. Great job. Okay, so just to recap, communication tools. We went through all those tools and identifying them. You already have these tools. So we're just discussing how to use them more. Okay. Use them when making a call, decision making and communication. Practice the whistle, practice your signals and get verbal. That's the big thing, is being able to talk. Use your voice more. Anytime you blow the whistle, it should be followed with the voice. Controlling the game, deal with that behavior. Don't forget those tips. Any inappropriate behavior, give a warning if it's unacceptable and then follow up if it reoccurs. The communication against the crew. That's your team through the duration of the game. Okay. And if you communicate throughout the game, I'm sure it'll make your game run a lot smoothly. Okay, so thanks for listening.
Great, thanks Jilly, appreciate it. So we do have some time for questions.
Yeah.
And we do have a question that's come through. If you are struggling to work with your partners, what would you recommend? Do you have any tips and tricks?
Come together. Remember we said don't be shy to talk to them. You gotta try and break those walls down, and that should happen in the pre-game. If it happens throughout the game, you've got to get them to listen. Just try and say, hey, look, I'm trying to tell you I'm having a problem with communicating to you. What can we do to fix it? The sooner you get together as a team, the better it will be for the remainder of the game.
Great. Another one come through. When communicating with players and coaches for a warning for a technical foul, do we show the technical foul signal? So I'm thinking that they haven't called the technical foul yet, but they're warning them. So do they show the signal during the warning?
I think it's how you warn them. If you warn them, hey coach, that's inappropriate, well, you don't want to have to give you a tech, but even if you say it verbally, okay, if you go and signal it, it looks like you're going to give them a tech straight away, but it is that intention. However, I think a more respectful approach to the coaches and players would be more effective.
Great. Okay, can a ref's call be reversed during the game?
If it's
so if the referee makes a call, can it be reversed during a game?
The only one who you can have a look at it is the crew chiefs. Once they've had a look at it, I'll have to have a bit more information on that. no, it can't be
Yeah.
reversed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it depends on
Yeah. On
what the
situation.
scenario is. So, Lewa, if you can send me an email, we can get that information to you. So what should we do if every time we ask something, one of our partners keep answering something else?
That's when you need to come together as a crew. So if it's one of the partners, obviously there's another one. If there's two, you need to, that's where you revert to the rule, and you're going to make it short and sharp. Like we said in the communicating, talk about what you saw. Talk about the communication tool is the rule knowledge. Make a decision. If you're still unsure about it later, just say both of you need to go and have a look at the rule book and say, did we make that? Was that the correct call to make?
There's also that opportunity. I know you have your pre-game talks, but then having the post-game talks as well is also a chance where you can
bring that up as well.
Yeah, talk about what the topic is and what that that challenge is with understanding what the message is. Okay, I've just had a comment from one of the, we need to educate our partners. We need to understand our rule knowledge. It happens a lot in the islands, and what you're right, you really need to understand what the rules are.
That's right. And that's with anyone coming through, especially in the younger age groups too, not just in the islands. It is rule knowledge, and this is all the basic stuff like the signals, the verbal, but the rules are very important because, like I said, how will we know when to blow the whistle? When you do have a referee that you're mentoring, this is the stuff that you want to be talking about in your pre-game. You know, it's like, talk about if there's something that you're not sure about, we're going to come together and then let's talk about the rule, but very quickly at the time when you can, like at a timeout, come together, explain the rule, explain it then. That's the only way to help them.
Yeah. And last question, you mentioned, training youth like juniors to referee. Like, what would be some of the, thinking about communication, what would be some of the ideas about teaching young people that area of refereeing?
A good one is like the communicating, like the whistle, especially. I think it's confidence in blowing them. It's getting them together, doing some role plays, get them in groups. You've got a defensive, an offensive, and one doing it with the whistle, and just getting them used to blowing the whistle. Get them together, blow the whistle, do the right hand signal, and follow through with the verbal. It's a whole lot of it's good stuff to them, and it helps them get confident in blowing the whistle. Then get them out there with someone who can help them, a mentor or a referee coach who's at the side of the court or at the end of the court, and to give them some prompts and to help them through that.
Yeah, awesome. And look, I had another comment through that came to me that was, English is not the first language for a lot of participants on this webinar. So, just understanding the rules, the interpretation of the rules in your languages is something that, we may be able to help you with. So, just let us know what you're struggling with. Jilly is more than happy to help in that way. FIBA Oceania is too. So if you are having issues with understanding the actual terminology of what's in the rule book, then let us know and we'll be more than happy to help.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think most of you have got my email, so happy to take emails and have some more in-depth answers for you guys.
Perfect, great. Thank you again, Jilly, for your time today. Thank you everyone for participating in the webinar. I will be sending an email out either late today or early tomorrow morning with the presentations. And again, if you do have any questions, please reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to help. Thanks very much, everyone. Stay safe and we will see you online next week.
Thanks, everyone.